Entropiq here. They don't have that same ability to prepare for this, but they have had pretty good form lately. I think they're on a 5-win streak right now. They're just always such a solid and reliable team. It's going to be good to see if they can bring it here at Katowice.
The early test for both of these rosters, a new look ENCE up against a tried and tested Entropiq. We will have to see which way this one looks to land. ENCE starting over on that T side, so a little bit of room for the likes of Spinks and Madden to really show their flair as they pick up a boatload of utility. Diha picks himself up a P250, but it's a straight charge from Entropiq. They've read it, and they get 2 big picks to open things up. Diha and Snappi gone. That's 1 belt of utility on the ground, and off the back of it, Entropiq, they've got them pinned. It's going to be ENCE just charging into this A site.
Yeah, Crad knows he can just survive on long, hear the steps, and make sure he's still in a good position, and one that might not be expected. He smells the blood in the water, but Madden turns it round. Maybe there could still be something for ENCE here.
Dinked up onto Lackey as well. Low HP. This starts to feel doable. They need to peek him together. Smoke goes out onto the bomb to try and bait it. Madden with another big kill. Nickelback, full 10 second inside of the smoke. Forrester kills off one, and Hades, he can't even deny this full 10 second. 2 players peeking into him. Beautifully played as a unit by Entropiq. That initial aggression, you couldn't have asked for better. They were just starting to set up that B site fake on ENCE, and Entropiq wandered in and ripped their heads clean off.
Pretty much the perfect start for Entropiq. Apparently, they don't need the demos to be in your head. Push out through B, flash peek even into that position with Elian already so far up towards short. That is just the absolute perfect position to be in for him, because you normally think you can tuck on that left side of Monster. You normally don't expect someone to be that far forwards that soon. Look at the decision from ENCE, though, off the back of the bomb plant. They think they've got the firepower to go for the force buy. A couple of AKs in there. Spinks and Diha rocking them, and the rest of the team rocking the Ds.
It's not a bad look, but it's simultaneously not great. Normally, from the T sides, you'll see 3 or 4 rifles brought into these kind of force buys when they want to give them a go. So to be down on just the 2 with 3 Deeks behind and Madden already legged up down to 23... It's not the perfect look. They are going to try and lead with those rifles, though. Already spotting out Elian out towards long. He's a little isolated, so will be forced to fall back on the timing. Does well to get away as well, to be fair. And with 2 MP9s on the board, this Deagle spamming connector could do some work.
Oh, Forrester just left short. His back turned. That setup looked good for Entropiq initially. They had the B short control, but Forrester leaving means it can't be that double stack that they might have wanted. And now ENCE have got the full map to work with. They have that ability to go up and down through connector. They have the ability to try and maybe sell a fake, but with 35 seconds, they're just going to commit to this B site.
Has to be fast B. Forrester's dropped the bomb, though, and that'll be the information. The rotation's already starting to make their way around. Lackey Smoke buying yet more time at Monster. Spinks, while he has the bomb, doesn't have time to do anything else. They've got to commit through, and Forrester, with the shadow angle, is in the perfect position to punish. Diha doing what he can, finds 2, but it's the spray down for Forrester. All 5 kills in the round. He backs out of short, but he bails out his team. A big second round to find for Entropiq.
He was low on ammo at the end there as well, I think, and somehow just lines up the final 2 players. I thought ENCE took too long initially, but they took their time. They actually worked the entries pretty nicely, but Forrester was always in position to just line up those trade frags. You saw at the end of the round there, he had 5 kills off of 280 damage. His teammates helping him out with some damage on the side. It's the ace coming through, and ENCE have gone for another heavy investment. They did damage in that last round. This is still ballsy.
It's a big call to be making this early on in a series to put in your economy on these kind of roads.
Already.
Oh, missed the spray though. Spinks able to punish. And again, an early call punished by ENCE. Entropiq. That's the second time Crad's been caught. Just not quite able to take full advantage. You do wonder if maybe would have been a little smarter to send one of those rifles on that kind of angle. You know it's going to be a long-range fight, and give yourself a little bit more room to work with.
That's the kind of player Crad is, though. He lives by the sword, he dies by the sword. He loves to go aggressive like that. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it can cost you, but they have got a 3A stack at the ready for the hold.
Molotov flushes Elian out though, and he burns down low. It starts to look a little more awkward. Forrester again doing work on that recovered AK. Bomb down. They know exactly where this is headed, but there's multiple players, so many angles. Forrester doing all he can, manages to connect to another and keep it even in the 2-on-2. Fast flank coming in, won't be able to deny the plant, but Elian, isolated fight, can't deal with Snappi. It's Nickelback. Finds the first, finds the planter on low HP. Snappi will swing, but he can't quite connect the spray down. The force buy again finding a lot of damage for ENCE, but Entropiq once more just about able to bail themselves out of what was looking to be an increasingly nasty situation.
This is like a full buy now for ENCE, though. Because they just keep planting, look at how good their money is. They're basically going to have a proper investment here into the 4th round, and they've just been piling the pressure on that Entropiq economy. So you can absolutely understand why they just continue to force like that. And I think at the end there, Snappi just wanted to use that range advantage. I think he knew he had the rifle up against the SMG. Unfortunately, just couldn't get the headshot quickly enough that he was looking for. But ENCE have put themselves in a position where they do have a good buy now. Finally, the full AK's on board. Kept Entropiq's economy low, and look at Krad again. This is how he loves to play. Aggressive through mid, taking away this entire area of the map.
ENCE are trying to creep out Monster here. Lackey's tucked himself. They expect it. They know this is how he likes to play. Spinks has done his homework, and that leaves the bomb site desperately vulnerable. Flashbang will blind up Forrester, and he can only get the one. And as Nickelback is taken out on the supporting lines, it leaves Elian and Krad with a rough decision to make. Krad, aggressive to a fault, was already deep in towards Playground, but that leaves him a good way away from the fight. And with Elian still front bathrooms, the call has to be made to hold on to these rifles. Hence, this is the benefit, right? We talk about how this forcing consistently, it can be a double-edged sword, but this is where it really starts to come into its own. They've kept Entropiq's economy just down to absolutely nothing. Full investments round after round. So as soon as they break in, as soon as they get a sight, Entropiq immediately saving and immediately looking down the barrel of a couple of rough buys.
And it looks like what we were pointing out in the pre-game may be true, in that ENCE seem pretty happy to brawl and pretty happy to play quite loose. As soon as they lose mid control, instead of maybe using some nades to regain map control, instead of thinking about just playing across the map, they decide, you know what, I think we can actually sneak out B here. I think B might be a weak spot. They go ahead and just decide to walk through the smoke, which was a big risk, but they have the confidence in their individuals to make that play, and they forced an early timeout out of Entropiq. This is something Hooch likes to do often. He will call for the timeouts whenever he feels like they are needed. He's happy to go for early pauses like this, especially in a game where you weren't entirely sure what ENCE would come with. I don't mind this. Early pause. Maybe he spotted something that he thinks the team need to take note of.
You could see him in the background of Elian's player cam there as well. Lots of hand movement. Lots of very vocal coaching, you have to imagine, from Hooch as he...
Can't see because of the mask, but yeah, I'm sure he was talking.
I'm sure he was talking a hell of a lot. I think that's pretty much a guarantee. And Entropiq, of course, will be forcing around those 2 save bits and bobs. So Forrester, he gets himself the 4A1 AK into the hands of Krad. Elian on that AWP and needing impact from these 3 rifles because Lackey's only got the Deeg. Nickelback has sacrificed down to the P250 to pick up Util. Okay. And they're going for the cross boost. Spotted out the man and they can't find him. Oh, Spinks, that is disgusting. Forrester on the drop down, wall banged out. They had the idea. It was a nice one as well. Spotted out Spinks, but he was all too ready for it. And with that man advantage found, you can see ENCE just starting to creep their way up towards an empty A site.
Yeah, going down a man early, and Entropiq decide they have to take a risk. They have to take a gamble. The upside of this is you can save these guns when you get the wrong read. And that's probably going to have to be the case here. You can already see Lackey was thinking about responding, but ENCE are all over the A-bomb site like a bad rash. So this isn't too bad for Entropiq. You save the guns, you get a chance going forwards. But yeah, already seeing ENCE play a pretty pacey play style. I'm pretty happy to see this from the ENCE squad. It's been working out pretty well for them here, now that they've got the guns out.
As soon as they've had those rifles in hand, they've been looking very crispy, which will send shivers down the spines of Entropiq. All 5 players staying alive into this one as well. Going to massively boost that economy over on the T side of things. Of course, 4-man save's not awful for Entropiq either, but it's going to mean that ENCE very quickly become a very formidable force. As you can see, even with the investment here, Spinks is going to be knocking on the door of 8-7 grand. Hades not far behind. It is a T-side economy that in the current meta gets out of control oh so quickly. Entropiq will be aware they need to start having impact sooner rather than later.
It's another round where they could afford to take some risks, take some liberties, considering they don't have the proper fallback. Oh, ENCE grouping up early though. They want a fast B play.
Forrest's got a P250. There's nothing he can do. He's just going to have to bail out. Tries to drop the smoke. Tries to stay alive. Nothing he can do. The only rifle here is Nickelback, who will find one, but he's lost all his support. Desperately trying to stay alive around the site. Again, Hades there to cut the rotations away, though. And as Nickelback runs out of ammo, he'll be done for. Elian left with the 1v3. Will be able to isolate Diha, and that bomb is down mid-site. So this is not a done deal just yet. Molotov into CT to try and keep Elian out. The second follow-up will do its job. Elian tries to put it out, actually goes straight through it, doesn't throw the smoke down, and that leaves him low. 44 HP. He suspects that he's got the planter isolated, and he is right. The problem is Snappi doesn't have to do anything. He chooses to swing, and Elian's smoke will give him the cover he needs to escape out of shore. And I think at this point, Elian might be wise to, immediately knows that one is a gone round, has to try and pack away that AWP, disassemble it, pop it into his backpack and save it up on the A site, because there's no chance he's going to be getting back into that one. Desperately needed that early pick, and you could see with the aggression he was going for how much he wanted to try and give that round a go, but it's going to be ENCE leveling things out as that fast B play pays off.
This is where we'll see if that B site is going to be consistently targeted. Lackey and Crad both on 0 kills so far. Forrester is the one player on B who has been putting up somewhat of a fight. But Lackey has been having a tough time, and he's the player oftentimes tasked with focusing on that monster area. And once you get out through monster on the T side, you are so much happier at breaching that B bomb site. Been a heavily grouped up style of play for ENCE so far, but now they know they're against a full buy. See if that continues. Hades looking for the short control. 4B stack early for Entropiq. The flash is fantastic, but Diha is quick on the response.
Even Hades managing to leg up the initial player before he's taken out by Diha, and with that aggression, they know there's likely heavy presence over towards B. Elian, though, is wise to every trick in the book. Catches Spinks right as he goes up on this boost, and with Crad finding the free kill onto Madden, this may well be a done round. The pace increases. The frags do not for ENCE in this one. Entropiq read it well and counter with some aggression of their own, you have to say. Flashing into short, trying to take the fights to ENCE, and it works out brilliantly.
I think this is something we can expect to see fairly frequently from Entropiq, an early 4B stack. Because if there is going to be a fast play, it's almost certainly going to be towards that B site on Overpass. Very hard to go quickly over towards A. There's a lot of ground you have to gain before making that play. This could be a chance for Snappi, but he's going to have his corners. Crad takes the fight to him. Bomb dropped, and now the round is well and truly done.
He had to try and salvage what he can, see if maybe there's some damage. He's got plenty of economy behind him, so swings on wide, but Crad is up to the task yet again. His first kills of the game, and a triple kill at that to put Entropiq once again into the lead. Not going to be a lead that's easy to maintain, though. Again, we talked about it earlier. The economy for ENCE already built up brilliantly. They will be reinvesting fully into this one. Entropiq, as they look at theirs, will be back on these ropes once again. Elian this time going to take the AWP up towards the A site, looking to rotate things. And, well, it looks like he may get some competition. 3 players from ENCE headed his way.
Right again, making moves. Solo pushing in through party. Oh, that nade stack, it's on point, and it's going to be an easy pick early. You don't often see that be completely successful, and now Spinks sprays through. 2 early kills for Spinks. He's loving life.
Elian's going to get caught on the timing as well. Diha very nearly catches the AWP in transition. 2 frags on B. Entropiq have to scramble the rotation, and ENCE know exactly what's coming. They work the bomb back around. They work their way back up towards this A site, and right as Entropiq abandon it, they will come in, claim squatters' rights, a free occupation. Nobody home for the CT side.
Yeah, they even threw that lurk smoke out monster over on B to just take away even more info. You see, Crad was just having to sit behind that smoke. There's no chance for them to peek deep into monster, even if they wanted to. Nice little bait and switch from ENCE to get another round on the board. This is a round for Entropiq, though, that I think you just kind of write off, because it is Spinks just getting 2 kills onto players he couldn't even see. Obviously, that nade stack was a nice time to go for it, considering... Okay, lock out, Spinks. Calm down. No ace here. I think it was a nice time for that nade stack, though, because we saw Entropiq wanting to contest short earlier. So you realize maybe they'll go for this boost. And Nickelback's going to be hunted.
He won't let him survive here. He gets a nice spray down. Actually manages to double it onto Madden as well, doing a fantastic job of just buying a few more seconds. And well, in the dying embers of round 8, he will be able to hold on to that AK-47 at least. Problem is, you're right. It's looking like ENCE have really done their homework. They know the tendencies of Entropiq. That's the second time we've seen them really looking to punish these ideas. The first, when Lackey plays inside that smoke on Monster, they know exactly where he is. They know where he's waiting. And this time, just as you said, that tendency towards short control. They know the stack's a possibility. The punishment is there. And it puts Entropiq again back onto this half by Nickelback, knowing he has to make some kind of impact with that lone AK, but wanders right into the crosshair of Madden to open things up for free. Brad's going to try and do what he can to recover that, and he will be able to nab the AK-47. Problem is, Diha, meanwhile, up on B, boosts himself into the angle, ripped Elian's head clean off, and Crad is losing teammates left, right, and center. Oh, Diha.
And another spray through the smoke for good measure. Everything going right for ENCE right now. Crad would love to put a stop to that. I don't think he's going to be able to, though.
Bomb has been planted.
Wow. Good start here for Entropiq, but ENCE are the ones who have come back into this game. I love to imagine, Wolfie, when people first tune into Counter-Strike and they see those icons for the kills and assists and deaths, I love to imagine that there's someone that's tuned in before and just sees like the handshake icon and he's like, oh, okay, so Crad shook 3 hands this game. Okay. Probably not ideal in COVID times.
Terrorists win.
I feel like Dinko should have warned me about the level of humor that was going to come out
that's
here.
what we get here. Also, the 3 next to the crosshair from Crad, that means he's changed his crosshair 3 times in this game. That's what that means. Yeah.
Well, as everybody knows, if you're missing shots, you just have to change all of your settings immediately, and you
course.
will get better at the game. So, understandable.
Well. Back to a bye. Let's see if Entropiq stick with the early B-sided stack. Let's see if ENCE go for the B rush. They have been willing to go for this fast B play. Looks like they're going to go for it again.
Molotov should slow them down at the very least. Lackey with the smoke out. He knows the play. Spamming through the smoke. He'll deal with Spinks. That bomb down as well. Nickelback looks to join him, and that's more like it from Entropiq. As soon as that Molotov was extinguished, they knew what was coming, and they sent the kitchen sink down to Monster to try and deal with it. Lackey and Nickelback, you're a little fortunate, sure, to get the initial kill for Spinks through the smoke, but from there on in, solid read, solid execution, and this is the problem with B rushes on a rifle. If it goes wrong, as you see now for ENCE, you're stuck outside Monster without the bomb, 1 minute and 5 left on the clock, so you know you can't save for that long, but you've lost all map control, all impetus in the round, and it leaves you just in the lurch here with what to do. They're going to try and park up outside Monster, see if maybe they can catch any kind of over-aggression from Entropiq, but it doesn't look like anything is going to be given. They've got 4 players just hoarding the bomb at the moment. Everyone is sat on it. Krad's up on A to make sure there's no cheeky play with the flank and the rotation, so Entropiq have just got it locked out.
Yeah, those fast B rushes through Monster really are oftentimes just all-in plays early in the round. Unfortunately for ENCE, they are all out of luck in this one. Easy kill for Elian on the hold. They have money. Hades may still want to save this AWP, though. It is very valuable a gun, so he will just try and hold on to it. I think Entropiq will be fine with that. They themselves want to build up their banks, so a gentleman's agreement, a handshake, you could say. I just keep trying to bring that up. One day, I'm telling you, we're going to get some crazy stats like that. Have you ever thought, imagine if at the end of your life, you got all the stats for your life.
I don't want to think about that, mate. I got the stats on how long I had been flashbanged in the last year, and seeing someone tell me that I'd spent 4 hours staring at a bright white screen, that was depressing enough. I don't need the extended statistics.
Fair enough. But wouldn't you like to know, like, how many times you? I don't even know. Like, there's so many things. Oh, this nade? Not this time.
Tickles at Forrester, gets a little bit of damage, but this time it's the short control that Nickelback's gone for rather than just boosting up to have a peek. And, well, for now, ENCE are happy to respect it. Hades remains scoped in on the angle just in case there is any over-aggression from Entropiq. Once again, we've seen them on the pistol look to pop flash through and take that control, but this time seemingly satisfied that they've got short locked down suitably. Forrester again will escape on out, leave Nickelback solo up on top of the railing as ENCE funneled in, you could say, towards this A site. They really lost all control of B, so forced their hand almost, have Entropiq, and started to work their way round in towards this A site. Long control taken with a lovely little run boost, but nobody home again as Entropiq, with 50 seconds left on the clock, happy just to turtle inside their respective sites.
Still some utility remaining for Entropiq too. There is a smoke on Lackey. That's over towards B, though. The A players have a couple of mollies of their own, and the AWP of Elian. No nades against him. 32 seconds, another player falls. Hades finally striking back, but they have to commit to A.
He's just got Krad caught here. Low on HP, he'll find the clean headshot, and now it's Forrester alone. He's waiting, trying to buy time for these rotations. 20 seconds. If he can deny the bombs cross, that would be everything, but Spinks has got him, and Nickelback critical on the backstab that he gets even the one. Lackey now there to bail him out, and there's Hades. Dealt with at last. Entropiq again, though, you have to say, it feels a little last minute, this CT defense. There's a couple of moments of brilliance, and then Elian crossing back over long gets picked by Hades. That's sort of unnecessary. Krad just shoots a little too early. Felt like he could have done with the trigger discipline there. Allowed Spinks to cross, and then he becomes the backstabbing player. It definitely feels like there's some nerves here for Entropiq.
This is where we are starting to see ENCE have to switch up their style of play, though. Much slower round, slowly taking control towards A and committing to a play. And those early fights especially didn't look ideal for them. They didn't have the utility set on the initial fights. Elian got a really easy kill just holding with the AWP. I think ENCE, I don't want to say they rode their luck on those early rounds, but they got away with a lot of rounds where they got really early kills. They got really early success. That is not going to be too common on Overpass against a well-drilled team like Entropiq. So now we've got to see if ENCE can play that slower style of play here. They take a timeout ahead of this one, but we are right back into the action. No AWP out for ENCE, just the rifles, and a flash into mid for Elian. Has to fall back, though.
Sees nothing, has to respect it. Meanwhile, Forrester, chewing on a Molotov, has managed to take short control. The nade damage being exchanged. Hades goes down to 32 for his trouble. And ENCE, again, it feels like the only route they've got towards B at the moment is that fast monster play, because they're losing this short control. Not really able to contest it beyond that one double nade stack that got them so much damage. So again, they're going to have to try and route towards monster. Nobody home for the moment on Entropiq. And interestingly, off the back of this short control they've gained, they've actually looked to rotate a third man up towards A. So the timing Really could be anything. Deep monster smoke coming out for Elian, but they're going to be past that before they make it in. And now it's on Forrester. Big kill in towards short. That smoke gives them a little more breathing room as well as Elian starts to pick them off, doubles it up, and they're just peeking on in. The Orpa having an absolute field day. Snappi to try and salvage this, to try and get some kind of damage. But Elian has just shredded them on entry. He'll miss the last shot, will be punished for it, but Lackey's there immediately to trade. Orp recovered. Entropiq looking smooth now on the CT side.
The utility is used here by ENCE, but it's not used well enough to deny this Orp this strong angle. And as soon as Lackey counter smokes that close side of Pillar, you can't just run up onto the site that safely. There's a clear line of sight for the sniper at range. That's something you always have to be aware of being a possibility. Now with the lower buy, looks like ENCE might just go back to those fast B plays, this time with the Tech 9s.
Out short they fly, a couple of players there to take the early control. Nade's a little late. With 3 out monster, this starts to look ugly. Flying out, they do find initial kills. Spinks and Deha combining well, and Deha just tapping away, rips the head off of Nickelback. The B site under siege, and it just looked like Entropiq got caught with nades in hand there. Krad's HE will at least deal with one, and that is the planter initially. Follow-up HE is going to only tag away at Snappi. Everybody is low now on this T side, and that wallbang from Krad very nearly connects. But Deha continuing, just absolutely annihilating them. A quad kill, clean headshots for everything. ENCE needed a little bit of magic, and it's Deha who delivers it.
No reaction from Deha either. Man's a stone cold killer with a Tech 9 with the AK. He did so much in that round. So many kills that I didn't expect him to get. And that is one of the upsides we were talking about with this ENCE lineup. I think the Deha and Madden entry combo could be fire. And Madden hasn't even had a great game here by his standards. He's been a bit quieter, but Deha comes through with big impact. And now Entropiq's money is back on the verge of being broken. Fast, long control from ENCE. No one here from Entropiq to spot this initially. Krad is still sticking around in the bathrooms, but they decide it's time to fall back. They realize it's a possibility. Already crossed, though. Elian out in the open. He's done for.
Needed that shot to connect. Krad is now absolutely in the lurch. MP9 up close, trying to do everything he possibly can. Dives around front bathrooms to survive. Just a few more seconds. The damage is good, but the kill's not quite found. And as a result, as the trades start to come through, it's a man advantage for ENCE. A CT side locked out of things. The smoke towards Dumpster, the molly on the bank. There's just no way. They swing out. They're spotted immediately. Lackey trying to isolate these 1v1s best he can, but nobody facing. Forrester will be able to deal with Hades at least. But the afterplant positions are solid. That bomb already halfway ticked. No smoke for this CT side. They need the kills. Forrester has one. Taps the bomb. He hopes to bait Spinks out, but he's not buying. He's not going to swing until the last possible moment, and there's the kill he needed. HE in hand. Lackey, one shot from death. That bomb continuing to be the ally of Spinks, and it's too far ticked. The defuse is never going to come through. Low HP. Lackey will go down to that bomb as well. It's a tough round, but ENCE get it over the line, and as they level things out at 7 apiece, the economy for Entropiq is in the dumpster.
ENCE are finding a surprising amount of success with some of these fast plays. Entropiq in some of these scenarios losing players so early that ENCE can just commit off the back of that early frag. I think they're really happy with just getting a lot of these early aggressions, early kills, and then committing. And that has worked surprisingly well for them so far. Entropiq will be a little disappointed with how some of these rounds have come underway, but they have to deal with it, and they have to work with whatever the hell they can into the last round of this first half. Aggression, because they have the SMGs, they want to get up close towards B short. That is some good ground gained, but they could have some issues on A. That is alone in towards short right now.
Just contacted it up initially, and no utility, no clue where they were going. Leaves these players desperately isolated. Hades with a clean headshot to open up, and Elian really the last line of defense on A at the moment. The rotations are starting to make their way up, but he needed to connect that, and as he doesn't, it really starts to fall apart. Lackey and Nickelback both spotted on A, so the bomb says fine. will go down B, leave Hades to take you out as you rotate, and that's job done. 8-7 at the half, ENCE with a dominant lead as they look to shut things down on Overpass after the break.
Yeah, they gave away a few rounds where they will probably think they maybe just allowed some of those fast plays to go against them, which normally you expect to be able to shut down on Overpass. But they've just got to deal with it. They've just got to go with what they can. And realistically, still a very close half and still plenty of opportunities for them to play their own game here on this second half. And that's all you can really ask for, right? They're still in a pretty good position as long as they keep their heads in the game. It is definitely still anyone's game here.
Yeah, they've done enough, haven't they? 8-7, it's a perfectly recoverable first half, especially if you get the pistol, you start to convert on that. You're looking at 10-7 before things really get underway with the rifles. I think the point that we're sort of getting at and beating around the bush of is that ENCE got 2 or 3 rounds there that were cheesy to say the least and fluky to say the worst of it, right? You've got the double nade stack into the two-man short boost from Entropiq that works out brilliantly. That gets them an initial pick and damage, and then that's forgivable, right? That's like, oh yeah, we lost a man, fine, whatever. To then just random spray through the monster smoke and find the connection for the second kill to give yourselves a 5-on-3 early, that really was just the final nail in the coffin of that round for Entropiq. Then, as we said, losing to a 5-man monster rush, you really need to be shutting those down like we saw Entropiq doing later on. Lackey getting caught around the corner of his own smoke as he looks to hiding it out monster. The fact that Deha just goes through and absolutely rips the head off of 4 people on a round where he's only got a Tech 9, which, let's face it, we all know it's a bit of an RNG weapon. If you're spamming it away, sometimes it connects, sometimes it doesn't. There's a good few of those, and I feel like Entropiq are going to be sat there going, if we just hadn't gone for that 2-man boost, if we'd managed to shut that monster play down, if Deha had missed 2 bullets on that Tech 9, we would have had a far stronger half. But like you said, it's enough, and I think for ENCE, they're going to be taking all of those as positives, right? We've done our homework, we've read that boost, we've read that monster play, and Deha's feeling crispy.
Even that round towards the end there, just it's always frustrating when you just lose a player so soon. Elian just going back towards long from short, getting caught out in the open. You just feel like you're giving away these opportunities, and ENCE aren't having to work too hard for some of those rounds. All in all, I do have to say for ENCE, I think we are seeing this adjustment period from Madden coming into play, because when I remember Madden playing on previous teams, I remember him liking to make a lot of plays alone on the map, pressuring positions by himself. I think on Overpass, he would pretty often play towards connector, from what I remember, and he was playing much more in the pack here. I think because Deha is the connector player for this ENCE lineup. So it looks like Madden might be playing more within the pack, more within the unit here for this ENCE squad, which may take a bit of time to adjust to. But here we go. Second half ready to come underway, and this is still as close as it could be.
Entropiq will be desperate to get this pistol on the board, you have to say, to give themselves that platform over on the T side of Overpass. Not the easiest side to get a handle on, but if you can break that CT economy, if you can build yourselves into it, it very quickly swings the other way. Nickelback picking up the utility this time. Smoke 2 flashes. Not a lot else, as they will be spotted out initially by Hades, firing off a couple of warning shots before escaping to the bathrooms and actually looking to contest long with 5 players swinging his way. Lucky to be alive as he ducks back into the bathrooms. And well, Entropiq look like they want to chase him down, all heading into the bathrooms now as they look to try and isolate this fight.
No response from ENCE either. They just now peeked into Monster, so they've seen that B is clear, but Hades has no assistance in time. Smoke in position. This is Entropiq putting themselves in a fantastic spot to win this pistol.
Already 2 players watching in towards Bank as well. They've set themselves up brilliantly on this after part. Up close, Lackey needs the kill though, and he can't find it. Forrester blinded, goes down second. ENCE charging into this site. Finally, there's resistance, and Elian with Nickelback in tow find 3 big kills before the conversion. It initially looked very, very awkward there. You have to say for Entropiq, as 2 kills went against them, but it's beautifully stabilized by Elian and Nickelback here, just finding clean headshots to shut any hope of a retake out.
ENCE aren't even able to have a player push up connector and go for that flank. They're all retaking from same side. So it ends up being a scenario where once they commit out into the open, Entropiq have huge crossfires. So even though they lose that initial player in Bank, they have so many players on different angles all over the site. It's so hard to overcome that. We know that ENCE like a good force buy though from that first half, and they're not going to give away any opportunities here either. They've got the scout out as well as the Deegs for this one.
Oh, okay, Dia.
Dude, pros are so good at these wallbangs. I would hate to play in these pro games because it's just constantly terrifying.
Just every surface, you know there's going to be a bullet headed through it that's almost homing onto you, but it is Forrester who comes out on top initially. Takes a lot of damage for it, but the initial frag is found, and again, off the back of it, they're looking to isolate this lone A player. This time it's Spinks. He can't quite connect the initial 1D. Lackey there for the punishment. And just charging up, going silent initially. As soon as they're spotted, the utility comes out. It's a nice tag from Hades. But again, without an initial frag, even though there's 4 players tagged up, 2 of which they don't really know about, they just have to concede it, ENCE. Look to hold on to the scout, the Deeg, the 5-7 into the next. Give them a little more bite to match their bark. And it's a shame almost, because you have to imagine if ENCE knew how much damage was on the board here, they might be tempted into giving this one a go.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. If you just get 1 or 2 of those kills, then maybe the round unveils differently. But instead, it is Entropiq who will be into the lead. And remember, they had a good initial pistol round on the first half too. They got themselves off to a good start over on their CT side. Where they had a nice read on the pistol. They've had the same here to start the second half. Lackey has died to the bomb, but we'll let him off for that one. It happens. He can't quite believe it himself. He's not even rebuying yet. He's like, oh man, why did I do that? It's fine. Someone's dropped him a Galil. Someone's taken pity on him.
He knows Hooch is going to take him out back and have a very stern word to him afterwards as well. Like, you don't do that in a Hooch team. Come on now. He'll look to make up for it in this one, though, as he does get dropped that Galil. And already charging into the short control with Forrester. There's a little bit of a boost being lined up here by ENCE, and Diha, oh, he almost catches it, but he's jumping as he does so. Madden at least will trade for 1, and it's an awkward fight that Lackey eventually wins out. Trade was good initially from the 5-7, but perhaps getting just a little too greedy there. Madden wanted to go for the rifle, wanted that extra little bit of something. Snappi finds a little bit of something through the wall, though. And as it levels out in an even 3-on-3, you can see ENCE have got a nice read on this. They know that they've left that A site isolated as Elian makes his way up. There's 2 players here to meet him. The spray is awkward, and the damage exchange is about equal. So this starts to get very interesting for Entropiq.
Snappi wants to line them up here. He might start to call for the rotate back if he hears noise. They're still using nades into A though, so Snappi takes initiative, and that's the bomb. AK in hand. This could go wrong for them. Lackey takes damage as well. Snappi looking to lock this down, and Lackey's the only man left. He's trapped in the corner. Snappi does it all.
Bonus style points with the 1D as well. Beautifully executed by ENCE. As once again, their half-buy finds them the miracle round. On the T side, it was the Tex. This time, it's Snappi with the D straight to the skull. And style points for this one on the finish as well. Clean execution of Lackey. And look what it does to the T-side economy. You win one of those half-buys, and your opposition are just decimated. The rebuy looks awkward. Nickelback down onto the Tech 9. Meanwhile, you've got an AWP. They tried to run boost Spinks to give him the initial peak timing. He doesn't get it, so fine. Drops the AWP back to Hades, and we get back settled into a slightly more standard round.
Hades would love to get a couple of kills on the board here. I was saying earlier how his level, I think, could be a big indication of where this ENCE lineup can peak at. And whenever you're an AWPer, you've got to be looking to do a good amount of your work on that CT side, especially on Overpass. A lot of long-range angles where you can control the map. Only 5 kills so far for Hades, but we'll see if that can change. Entropiq themselves, slowly taking Bathroom's control. They don't have much utility, though, so they're really having to just dry peek these positions. And that lack of utility could be real costly if they do end up committing into that AWP.
Spinks is trying to be cheeky on this smoke, but Krad's doing the exact same at the moment. The refresh will give him time. They're going to have to go through this. They're toying like they're going to. Smoke goes towards bank, second towards the dumpster. They're stuck behind this smoke, though. And now they charge through. Pop flash is good for one. Lackey at least there to trade. But again, the utility is so good for ENCE. And Hades, despite the dink, finds the connection. He's after Krad. Meanwhile, trying to keep his team's hope alive, has dealt with Diha. And that leaves 2 players isolated towards dumpster. But both frags go the way of Snappi. And Elian is left 1v3. He's dealt with the low HP AWPer. Taps onto the second. Looks to clutch it up, but he can't quite connect the spray. It's Snappi, the hero of the hour for ENCE, as Elian looks for a miracle, but he can't quite pluck it out of thin air.
Peak timing wasn't perfect at the end there for ENCE. Entropiq got given the chance. Elian got given the opportunity to isolate those fights. Snappi wasn't ready to react off the back of the new player Madden, but it still works out, even though it ends up being a straight-up duel for Snappi. He holds his nerve. Now Entropiq are in trouble for this round. Elian takes a bit of damage. Only the pistol's in play, so might be worth taking some risks, trying to find some awkward timing windows. Oh, this is such a strong angle for Hades. Hits the shot through the wall. Not much damage done onto Krad.
A tickler.
Cheeky little tickle.
Trying to keep ENCE as passive as they can with what little they have here in Entropiq. Just showing face, firing off a couple of warning shots, and then backing away as they do look to now group in towards these bathrooms. Elian's Deagle, really the only thing they've got at the moment, so they're trying to enable him as best they can. The Glocks jump spotting, peeking, trying to bait someone to hold an angle for just a split second too long. Missed shot from Elian. AWP of Hades was visible for a split second. But again, with 45 seconds left, a 3-man stack up on this A site, it starts to feel like this is a done deal. Missed shot from Elian, punishment from Hades. He doubles up, and at this point, the rifles really should just be having a field day. Lovely and smooth. Simple as you like. And start to extend their lead.
Spinks just quietly putting up the numbers in this game. I said earlier, you could definitely make a case for him being the standout player on this ENCE lineup. I think towards the end of last year, he really showed us the level of form he can hit on this squad. I think it also helps that you've got a couple of aggressive players on this team, because Spinks will oftentimes be someone more towards the back of the pack, set up for some trade kills at times. But that's the style of play he likes to play. That's an important piece of the puzzle for this ENCE team. He is up to 20 kills. the only player to reach that point so far. Another timeout taken by Entropiq. They know how important this round is. If they lose it, Mali could still be weak if they don't get a bomb plant, and ENCE could start to run away with this.
Starting to feel like it's now or never for Entropiq. It really is.
Damn, 0 handshakes from Nickelback. So dishonorable. You got to respect your opponent, Nickelback.
He's in the zone. Leave him alone. Look at him. Look at that
serious.
camera. Very serious about his CS. They want this short control as well, so that molly does have to be perfect, but Madden through the smoke opens up, and Forrester, not expecting Hades to be behind that T-side molly, gets another. And ENCE, surely not. They're just looking to make this worse. Snappi, tucked inside the smoke monster, will be punished by Elian at the very least, but you can see Entropiq at this point fully committed to this B site. This boost needs a kill to enable them to get into it, and nobody is showing face. ENCE just hiding in their angles, knowing they've got that man advantage. Elian now trying to work his way up towards A, just show a little presence, try and keep the rotations honest. Problem is, Entropiq, this whole round now hinges on that boost getting a pick. They need a pick to get them into this B site. As the smoke is refreshed monster, Elian's not going to be the one to provide it, so they hang around on this boost longer and longer. Flashes from Elian, hoping to flush someone out of their angle. Hades spotted, but not dealt with. Tagged down to half HP. If they find that kill, then maybe the B site's a possibility, but now with 40 seconds left, they're stuck.
3 Ts left. You see the boost into short. You know at least 2 of them are down on B, so ENCE send reinforcements. A third man onto the B site, ready to help.
Up posted, Madden flashed into his angle, 20 seconds. Entropiq, it's now or never. They have got to get into this site, and they're just being stalled. More and more utility, and here come the kills. Elian left, 1v4. He finds the first headshot, but there's only 13 seconds left, and he's got to start thinking about the economy. Tries to bail out. Will at least be allowed to hold on to the AK-47, but that really is a silver lining in a storm of clouds for Entropiq. The round falls apart at the seams. Elian's 2 kills, the only frags registered by that T side. And this hold was just so smooth for ENCE. They get the initial kill through the smoke, sure, but that ult frag from Hades is very manufactured.
They just waited so long for that boost to try and get them back into the round. And as soon as that doesn't happen, you are in real trouble there. Elian is going to keep that AK, but the rest of the team don't have money behind it. Wow, they're going to... Okay. Were they trying the 4-man boost just for the AK? I honestly like it. I like the idea. But I don't think it's going to get anything. You've got to be confident. Because I don't even know if the AK is fully accurate at that range.
There's no way it is. There's no way it is.
Yeah,
if you had a Krieg,
yeah,
maybe.
For sure. Because I know on Dust 2, for example, on long, you can definitely just one-tap a guy on the head, and it's just literally going to miss sometimes with the AK. Which kind of sucks.
Nature of the beast. And, well, the nature of that kind of a boost is that Entropiq really don't have a lot of map control as a result. They go for 4 players deep inside their own spawn early, don't get anything from it, so only just now starting to explore the reaches of the map. Okay, Crad, I don't know if he spotted Snappi. It looked like he had, but Madden doesn't even need the assist. Swings wide, the timing not quite right for Entropiq. And off the back of it, you can see CT side fully aware. They've got control of the B site. Fine, we'll keep 3 up on A, and now that makes this hit so much more awkward for Entropiq. Lurk smoke out long to try and get some kind of angle to work with, but the molly immediately goes in as the counter from Deha, and Hades, he wants to peek this, he's toying with it. Now he goes wide, rips the head off of Nickelback, comes back for more, will finally be put down, but again, this flank is just waiting to be activated. Snappi chimes in with another, and it falls apart once again. It's a solitary frag for Elian as ENCE have their 13th. And Entropiq, this just feels like it's slipping through their fingertips at this point.
Entropiq tore to shreds in that round from both sides. ENCE are just always a step ahead of them. They always seem to have the information. Entropiq need to make sure they can put a stop to that right here. AK's back out again. Is this where we see some pace from Entropiq? That's the question. A lot of the rounds so far have been fairly methodical, fairly slow paced. That nade soars past the entire team. No damage early.
You were worried there, weren't you?
I was a little. They're all grouped up. If it was on the right spot, that could have been a big one. This is a slightly risky setup from ENCE. They've got the double stack on long. So bathrooms is actually open, but if Entropiq go bathrooms, they probably have to use utility. They have to use the smoke, which they have now thrown. So that might give the game away. Flash on long. Hades forced away, but Spinks lies in wait. Only one kill found. Hades has to fall back.
Entropiq will take that initial trade. Good map control gained. Their own smoke front bathrooms means the AWPer can't reaggress too far, although Hades is going to try and push around Banana on a timing, and he's got past that lurk smoke. He knows what's coming, surely. Crad, no idea of Snappi's position, and the flash is a split second too late. A free kill, one that shouldn't have been allowed to happen. It should have been Crad with a freebie instead. It's a man advantage for ENCE, and now with 3 players charging out Monster, it's an absolute field day. Headshot for Snappi. Molly burns away at the feet of Lackey. And Alien, how many times? 1v4, tapping away at the feet, but it's not going to be enough. Snappi just tap dances on out of there, and it will be ENCE with a 14th.
No way in. Couple of shots to the feet of Hades, but now he's locked in on this side. 1 kill found. Maybe he gets away. Looks like they are going to let Alien get back. But they're not going to let Entropiq win any rounds. By the looks of things, 14-9 for ENCE. And if you have just joined us, Entropiq won both pistols in this map. They took a 3-0 lead at the start of their CT side. They took the first 2 rounds of this T side. And ever since, they haven't won a single T round. In terms of the actual gun rounds, ENCE have been pretty dominant here in this second half. Now Entropiq kind of on their last legs. Galil's on the majority of their players. Crad goes with a MAC-10. Maybe it is time for something faster. Maybe it is time to just see if you can group up. Send that MAC-10 in first to try and cause some chaos.
They need something chaotic because none of these structured plays are working at all. ENCE seems to have an answer at every turn. 2 rounds away from taking their maiden best-of-1 victory at IEM Katowice ENCE and looking very clean while they do so.
Hades is rotating B. They're going to have 4 players on this B site.
They've read it. They know exactly what's coming. Lackey, though, will open up. And now that Molotov, those seeds of chaos do start to come through. The kills start to line up. But Snappi again! 20 to his name at this point, continues to be the thorn in the side as he finds yet more damage, leaving Nickelback in the 1v3. Snappi is just always exactly where Entropiq don't want him to be, and despite him going down at the death to Elian, it's a 15th on the board for ENCE. They continue to dominate on the CT side of things. Nothing Entropiq do is working, and this just feels like it's a done deal.
Yeah, Snappi doing a good bit of the heavy lifting here. And we said in the pregame, I was saying that I was impressed because Entropiq have a really deep team in terms of individuals. Even Nickelback can frag as the in-game leader, but it's Snappi who's proving he's a fragging IGL too. Impressive performance here from ENCE in this second half, especially. Let's see if they can close out this map with the full streak. Bit of damage into connector from D-Hut. Flash at the ready. And sitting back on most areas of the map. But now Snappi takes that control. He's just been here in so many rounds. And again, that's going to give ENCE that early info they want. They're rotating a player up to A right now.
They know exactly what's coming before Entropiq even knows. Snappi's on the flank.
This is brutal.
He should have a freebie. He knows exactly what's coming. He lines them up, sprays down one, dinks onto the second, but his teammates are backing him up. Even when he can't find the conversion, his teammates can. It's brutal. And Forrester, desperately low on HP, trying to salvage something out of this for Entropiq. Tucked in. Snappi knows. Snappi knows, of course he does. 16-9 domination on the CT side of Overpass from ENCE. You have to say it. Entropiq, we thought maybe they'd done enough in the first half. Maybe if they could get the pistol, maybe if they could convert it. They did all those things. It still didn't matter. This new look ENCE is looking very shiny.